What is the best Russian grammar book for beginners? Everybody who starts learning Russian has this question. Your progress at the beginning will greatly depend on the textbooks you choose to use in your studies. In this video, I'll review this famous Russian course book and tell you all its pros and cons so you can decide if it's a good fit for you. Coming up. Hey, what's up? Christina here from Boost Your Russian, bringing you the best tips and tools for learning Russian online. The book I'm talking about today is called Russian Course, a complete course for beginners by Nicholas Brown. Though most students know it as the new Penguin Russian course book. For most students, this book is the most obvious choice when they start learning Russian, because if you search on Amazon for a Russian language grammar book for beginners, it shows up in the search results. Do you have this book? Write yes or no in the comments. If you don't have it yet, you've probably at least heard of it or seen the cover, right? So this book has more than 300 reviews on Amazon, which is unusual for a Russian textbook. If you want to check it out and read other reviews, the link is in the description. This book is truly for beginners. It covers everything starting with the alphabet, basic sounds, pronunciation, and spelling words and basic vocabulary. So if you're just getting started and have zero knowledge of the Russian language, this is a good book. All Russian words and phrases are translated into English and have accent marks, which is hugely important, especially for complete beginners. The book consists of 30 lessons and is pretty thick. I would say it covers everything you'll be learning in your first and second years of studying Russian. So it's less than $20, but you'll be using it for at least a few years. Here are the topics covered. Learning to read Russian, Russian handwriting, everyday phrases, basic grammar, verbs, asking questions, possessions, describing things, adjectives, plurals, numbers, cases, tenses, aspects of the verbs, cases again, pretty much everything. What I really like about each lesson is that it's broken into mini lessons, one for each topic. For example, Lesson 1 is all about learning to read Russian, and it consists of these mini lessons. The Russian Cyrillic alphabet, learning the Russian alphabet, the Russian alphabet in dictionary order, Russian italics, and some extra information about the Russian alphabet. Each mini lesson is only 1 or 2 pages long, so it's really easy to squeeze it into your busy schedule. If you have just, 15 minutes to study, do one mini lesson. Also, since the information is broken into blocks, it's really easy to navigate this book and search for the subtopic you need. Another really good feature of this book is that there is an extensive dictionary at the end, so you can use this book as a standalone study tool without having to use any apps or translators. Is this video valuable to you so far? Give me a like if so, and subscribe if you're new here. Now, moving on to the cons. This book lacks exercises. There are exercises there, but very few. They do come with answer keys, so this is a plus. However, there are not enough exercises for you to practice every topic. This is a great reference book that will teach you Russian grammar rules, but it's not a practical workbook. You will have to look elsewhere for a workbook to accompany this course. Will you be able to easily decline nouns after reading about noun declension rules in this book? No. You need to do tons of exercises in order to learn to apply the declension rules. Is it enough to just read about Russian verb conjugation once in order to easily conjugate any given Russian verb? No, not at all. You need to practice a lot to really get the hang of it. So this is a huge disadvantage. However, nowhere in the book does it say that this is a practical course. So you just need to clearly understand that this book gives the theory and you have to learn to apply it yourself. The second con for me is that this book doesn't have many tables. I guess it all depends on your learning style. I'm a very visual learner and teacher. Instead of making my students read several pages on how to conjugate Russian verbs, I prefer to give them a color-coded table with all the conjugation rules and examples on one page. My motto is always show, don't tell. And the author of this book clearly has a very different style, so you will not find many tables here. Instead, there is a lot of text with explanations on how each rule works. It might not exactly be a con, but well, it all depends on your learning style. The last con is that in the examples, you'll sometimes find outdated words, mostly used in the Soviet Union, which is weird because the book was published in 1996. It's kind of an old book, but not that old. However, most of the time the examples provided in the book are fine and correct, so I would forget about this little detail. So, is this the perfect Russian grammar book for beginners? No, it has its disadvantages, but it's one of the best, if not the best Russian language grammar book available on the market, especially for beginners. Is it suitable for intermediates? Yes, as a reference book. If you're a true intermediate, you should already know most of the stuff explained in this book. However, it's nice to have all the rules in one place for a quick reference. If you want to watch reviews for other Russian language learning resources, the links are on the screen. A perfect fit for one student can be the wrong fit for you, simply because of your current level of Russian or learning style. So always do your research. I'll see you in the next video.